And we're live, everybody. Welcome, Saturday night. One Junior King, and check out this man over there. I've got a mirrored. Rage Theo.
Hey guys, Rage Theo here. Another week in Comics and Chaos. We got some special guests for you guys tonight.
Very special guests. We've got a lot to talk about actually tonight too. Besides just the guests, I mean, there's been so much that's happened in comics, and we need to ask them about it too. In just the last week, in movies and shows and all kinds of craziness. I think, should we just get into it? Should we just get rolling? You feel like it?
Well, really quick, guys.
Yeah.
There's 8 of you right here right now. I appreciate every single one of you. Make sure you like that video. Let's get this started and let's get into it.
Like, comment, subscribe. See you in a second.
By the way, nice job on that intro, Phil.
yeah, I gotta thank Posh for that. You know, been working,
Love it,
getting
bro.
the clips. You know, I thought it would be a better shot of you
better
for a change.
every week, man.
You're dancing. Yeah. I'm gonna get the one of the club that one time we were out there in Chicago.
Oh God,
I'm gonna get that one where you're
right.
dancing on the floor. That's the next one. That's the next one, man. That's the next one.
Deal.
All right. Well,
all right, guys.
Nobody wants to hear me talk. I just want to hear you and your friends that are coming for this episode.
Well, I was gonna say, guys. First of all, we got 2 special guests for you tonight. This is going to be a Q&A type session. We already have questions ready to roll. We would love questions from everyone in the chat, though. We will do our best to get to every single one. Let's bring them in.
All
Let's bring them in.
Without further ado, look at this.
Thank you. Thank you. But
How
no
are you,
applause
sir?
needed. It's a privilege to
How's
be
it
here.
going?
It's amazing to see both of you. We're big fans. And the comic industry was
likewise
in desperate need of gentlemen like yourself. Beautiful gentlemen. How are you feeling?
Beautiful.
We're doing fantastic. We're doing fantastic. For everyone that does not know
Compliments. I don't know this.
who these 2 gentlemen are, we have Comic Tom and Fire Guy Ryan. How are you guys?
And the cat.
I'm happy now that Butch has joined us.
Yes,
Yes.
we
That's the only reason I came
Oh,
over.
we made sure to bring the
tiger.
brush so that he can get groomed throughout the
Beautiful
stream
tiger
for
kitty.
all of your audience's pleasure.
We have a
Awesome,
red
awesome.
tiger like that in our house too, named Harley.
Harley.
Yeah,
Wait,
Harley. My
Wait,
daughter's got
your
a Harley
cat's
Quinn
name is
tag on it.
Harley?
Yep, she named after Harley Quinn. So
Cool.
yeah, it's got a little Anyways, just food for thought. But yeah, so welcome guys. We're really excited you joined us. We've been obviously watching you guys for quite some time. You guys have been you guys are the pros on YouTube. You guys have been here for a minute, right? This has been quite some time working the channels. What got you guys started on YouTube? What Tom? When did you say to yourself like, man, I should start a YouTube channel?
Geez. Have we ever done? Oh, I have to say something.
You have to look it up.
Have you ever done a video with music in the background?
No.
So this right here, you're getting a
I was like,
fresh.
Are they hearing this too? Is this in my head? Is this just my?
Well, I feel like it's a
background
rock. Like
It
we're in a
is.
rock.
We've got music that can play in the background. That's
All
music?
right.
We actually
streamed
provided
or
the
built
music
in.
and said, if you don't play this,
Yeah, this is our music. It's typically
Good music.
we try to talk in rhyme. All right, let's do it. But we started about 5 years ago. Ryan and I met at work, believe it or not, and we bonded over comic books as comic fans do. And yeah, we had a immediate friendship start there because of our love for video games, as well as funk music. And
did that come into the picture that early?
dude, Red Hot Chili Peppers, there's a level of funk there that we enjoy.
We played it loud in the bank.
Yes.
No.
No, we didn't.
No.
It was kind of like we would probably sing to ourselves often.
I was a bad employee.
Random Anthony Kiedis lyrics.
Still am a bad employee, but that's
Yeah.
okay.
Dude, you
Yeah,
lost
I
that job.
Oh
I
yeah.
haven't
I'm about to lose this one too. So let's move this along.
Let's get it rolling. But yeah, we've been friends for like 5 years. We started making videos.
10 years. We've been making videos for 5 years.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we've been
I'm on
friends
top
for
of
a good decade.
Holy
But yeah, we
smokes.
started making videos together 5 years ago, and we started writing a comic this year together. So it's been a long ride, but it's been so much fun last year. Yeah.
And you know, we are going to get into that comic here in a moment. Phil, did you want to start off with any questions, or did you want me just to get right into it?
I think you should get right into it, but I have an Anthony Kiedis story too, and it's interesting that you guys bonded because he was.
I want to hear
here.
By all means.
He was born
stories
here in
about
Grand
Anthony
Rapids.
Kiedis. Ryan loves Anthony.
He was born in Grand Rapids. He grew up here, so like the kids like schools that they go to all like have like different little areas. And he went to California to live with his dad, but his mom lived here, and he comes back once in a while. But at any rate, I was at the vet, and this little lady walks over to me, and she's talking to me while I'm there with the dog, and she's just chatting me up. She's like, "So what do you do?" I'm like, "Oh, yada yada yada," talking about work at the hospital and things. And then I started talking about my daughter. I was like, "She's got a concert tonight with the orchestra thing. You know, she plays violin." And they're like, "Oh, that's really cool." She's like, "Oh, my son, he plays music too." I'm like, "Oh, that's cool." She's like, "Yeah, he's got this thing in Chicago tonight. He's playing some concert in Chicago." I'm like, "Oh, that's neat." You know, and then the vet calls me back and you know, it's kind of going on about my day. I go on about my appointment with them, and then the vet comes out and is like, "Oh, I saw you talking to Mrs. Kiedis out there. She just loves to just come out here and just chat up everybody." I'm like, Mrs. Kiedis? He goes, "Oh yeah, didn't you know Anthony Kiedis' mom? Like she hangs out here at the vet for conversations with people." I'm like, that was her son. That's a musician. That's just playing in a concert in Chicago. It was the rock. It was this huge concert that was going on in Chicago. I didn't even connect it until they freaking brought it up there. But yeah, I guess I met Anthony Kiedis' mom, so that was cool.
She hangs out at the vet.
She hangs out at the vet for conversation.
Who does that?
I know, right? Well, apparently Mrs. Kiedis.
That's kind of like hanging out at like the funeral.
That's a true
you
animal
know?
lover right there, honestly.
Yes, yeah.
You know, like if
hanging
you're
out
like
at the hospital.
yeah, you just want to be around. You know,
Yeah.
all that energy.
Catch the animal vibes, no matter what.
Just was
Yo, when you're in a veterinary office because of your animal, that's not a good time.
I don't want to talk to people. Yeah, usually you're not there for good reasons.
And the animal sure is not happy to be there either.
That's true.
Never happy. Well, my dog, but he's just happy to be in the ride anyways. So yeah. Anyways, but yeah, let's get into the questions, Theo. I apologize. I had to derail.
No, you're good.
Chili Peppers, and I got excited for me.
It's never a bad time for a story time. Okay, it's never a bad time. So I've done a poll on Instagram. I did one on Whatnot. We did kind of a short one just now live on Instagram, and I've gotten a lot of questions. I think one of the major questions that I've got that's just been asked probably about 50 million times to me is this one. And that's, where does the data get pulled from the top 10? And for anybody that doesn't know, Comic Tom has a YouTube channel. He does a top 10 on there. I think you've been doing the top 10 for about 2 years now. Is that right?
Oh, geez. Going on.
Has it been 2 years?
Over 4
years.
years.
4 years.
Yeah, it was hard to
4
start.
years.
I remember it
Okay.
seemed
Thought
like
that music
4
was
years.
not. It just came right back in.
So
4
long
years or
time.
so, yeah. We've been doing it.
long
It
time.
started real quick. You know, it was actually one of the first videos we did that I think that the community enjoyed the most. So yeah, we've been doing it every week for that long. The information comes from all the places you would expect. Mostly eBay data for the trending 10, because those are going to be the first.
Okay.
It's going to be the first areas that. Here, one second. There we go. I would say that, yeah. With the trending 10. Sorry, the
music.
Is it still playing? Can you guys
I'm
still
like trying
hear
to
it?
figure out. Maybe we can turn it down just a little bit. Is there any
No,
way
I
we
can't.
can turn
I
this
can't even hear it. It's supposed to be like on a level of like 1 to 100.
Is it
It's
just
supposed
on
to be
our
like
end? Do you have that?
4.
Maybe it's just
Oh my god!
Do you have the background?
Is
on?
it good now? Yeah. I
It's
couldn't
so
even
great.
hear it. It's so
Oh,
loud.
you
can't
couldn't
even
hear
hear
it?
Are you
Dude,
serious?
there's music.
It's just constant guitar
Oh
loop.
my god! I can't even hear it, guys. I can't even
Oh,
fucking
I'm
hear
dying.
it.
It's so good. It's like dun 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 dun. dun.
Are you shitting me? I'm sorry.
Well, I don't know.
apologize.
You're in the chat.
And see, look,
Is it just us or everyone in the
and
chat?
look, even
Can you
the
hear it?
chat. Look, boom, we can't.
They
hear
can't
it
hear
at all.
it. It was just us.
Oh my god.
We were experiencing something completely different than everybody who's here present. Oh man, I'm like, all right, I dig it. Yo, it's comics and chaos. It's a little
It's a different vibe for the
chaotic, but
show.
you know what?
It's a
Freaking
little
rock,
chaotic.
dude.
Well, is it
Oh,
off
I'm
now?
sorry.
Is it
Oh,
off
it's so
now?
funny. Yeah,
Is
it's
it
good.
off? Okay,
Oh,
good.
man.
I'm so sorry,
You're
guys.
Okay.
No, you're totally good.
I
That
can
was
think a little better.
that was hilarious. Okay, yeah, the trending 10. Okay, so we've been doing that for. Geez, I've been doing that every week for over 3.5 years. We have to be hitting 4 years. I think this is in July. Maybe we break 4 years. It's at the point where I'm low-key forgetting how long I've done it, but it's got to be approaching 4 years every single week without missing a week. And that includes any times I've been sick or been dealing with any life stuff. We get that video out. So trending books tend to show themselves first in the marketplaces that they sell in high quantities. And that's going to be eBay, the places where we all buy comics typically first. You will see rumblings though on Facebook forums, Facebook groups, various websites, clearly Key Collector Comics, which is the application that we have an affiliate code for, that we gather this information from. Every week, Key Collector takes all that data in and they make a list called the Trending 20. And of those 20 books, we pick 10, organize those 10, and then write a script to kind of reflect and explain why they're selling and why they're of interest to the community over the past week. We cover the sales that have already happened. We also have a Hot 10, which is a completely different video. Those are the hottest books in the world. And that's where you're going to find like the blue chip coverage, heritage auction sales, Comic Connect, various places. And then also sometimes on a rare occasion, private sales that are able to be verified.
That one's based off of books that are selling over their average price that they've been hitting for like a year. So for anything to show up on the hot list, it's got to perform significantly better than it's been doing for the last year. And the trending list is just based on quantity.
Gotcha. So
Got it.
and that makes a lot of sense too, because with the trending, you're at least pulling the data, and that's just the raw data you're pulling in. But with the hot, you're looking at just essentially the increase, the percentage of, like, this thing like quadrupled or, things of that nature.
Like average sales going up for, typically we won't, not typically, almost, I would say 98% of the time, we're discussing 3, if not more, different grade points that are seeing an increased attention to, increased amount to. And then also you can add record-breaking sales that are unique to that. And then that'll adjust the positioning of them and will determine if they even make the list when it's time to analyze it.
Okay. Awesome. So yeah, that makes a lot of sense. That actually is going to lead us right into the next one, which is when that data is collected. How do you guys then select the top 10? Is it according to data points? Is it something that you guys curate? I mean, because I'm sure there's a lot of different books that may break their prior record.
Sure.
So how are the 10 selected? Well,
the hot 10 is already selected and in order on Key Collector and could be consumed by everybody before we even make the video. Our assessment is all happening after that. The video that's coming out while we're on the mic right now, I just got notified that it's actually almost ready, is about the Hot 10 that debuted last Sunday when it came out.
Right. Around, takes a while to film it and edit it and all that. So yeah, it's like a week delay usually, maybe a little less.
The Trending 10, it's a mix. There's a handful of different paths to that where we end up what the 10 books are, or at least that it takes.
They're ranked on the overall list by the increase in copies sold every week. So if a book is selling bonkers high, that's usually going to be higher up on the list that we end up making.
Okay, so that makes sense. So just because like an Action 1 breaks a record, there was only that one sale, whereas like if it's another book and there were 100 copies sold in 2 days, then got it.
Yeah, if it's like a Action 1, it's hard to assess that as a trending book because it's actually one of the most wanted books and greatest books of all time, if not the greatest. So that's going to land on the Hot 10 if we do see a sale like that.
Whereas something like the Spider-Man M&M variant, that moved a lot of copies that week. That made the trending list.
Exactly.
In a row, I think.
Sometimes books will land on the trending and then immediately earn their way to the Hot 10. Such as like you'll see that with like
Authority happened.
Yeah, Authority went right from the trending, and then it broke such records that it was exceeding $300-400 than the prior sales, and then that landed at number 10. And we chat about first off, this is it's like the difference of what's popping this week is the stuff that you look at when you look at your phone and you're seeing your homies and various groups posting something that you're like, okay, what's going on? What's the buzz? It could be the cover, it could be the variant, it could be the story, but those are the books that are gonna likely be assessed and discussed on the Trending 10. or the trending 20 or a book that's affiliated with it that caused a spike. The hot 10, however, those books are the books defining this generation of collectors. That's more like a ranked Billboard charts list, you know?
Yeah.
Pink Floyd was on the Billboard charts for a record amount of times. I'm going to butcher this, but it's like over a decade straight, right? The Hot 10 is similar in that way, where we would actually see Omega Man 3, for example, for 8 weeks in a row, because it's a hot book. It's one of the most wanted books. CGC's pumping them out. People are getting them graded. You know, it's earned its ranking, and it's a prestigious slot to hit.
Okay. Phil, any questions on that one?
No, none at all. That was well explained.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. Chad, if you guys have any questions on those ones.
Can I add one other thing too?
Always.
Allow it.
One other thing. There's 3 people who do this with me that are very important. Ryan helps script everything. Also, we research and decide if we're going to move a book around or change slots. Should number 1 be this one? I think this is what it should be. We also have Russ Bright, who's a LCS owner, and he has a different perspective on the market as well. So he may go, oh no, that book, that should be hotter because this was the book that everyone asked about. This other one, no one can get it. So it can't be trending more because people can't get it. So they're buying this one in mass. So that may adjust numbers. And then of course, we got to give some love to Key Collector Comics and the creator, Nick Colonese, who's one of my best friends. So he knows the market like no one else does, because he spends all of his time and his team analyzing it and providing value to the comic community. So if there's ever a point where we can't decide over here or here, I have friends who are a call away where I can say, what do you think? What do you think, man? And he'll give me his just unbiased opinion, because he don't sell comics. This is his gut. And he'll be like, oh, yo, check eBay. Look at these sales. Look at these pictures of the book that broke records. Compare the way that they were printed. Yo, did you miss the page quality? Oh, snap, I missed that. That's why that happened. Because we're doing so much in such a little amount of time that as soon as the lists happen and we start to build the script and hit the mic so we can get it to our editors to get it out, it's a sprint. It's just an utter sprint. So we're just trying to dive in, learn as much as possible in the quickest amount of time so we can entertain the community to the max, but also provide the most pertinent and relevant information.
Yeah. No, absolutely, man.
Okay. That's all I really had for that question. That basically sums it up right there. Ryan, any thoughts on that one?
None whatsoever.
Hey, you know what?
Like I wrote it. I know the answer. Yes.
and I can respect that. I appreciate the fact that you have so many different types of people around you to give you those different perspectives. That's
responsible. That's responsible though too, because I mean, if you're just taking it on a single opinion and you're not using your team, you're not listening to the people around you, then honestly, it's irresponsible to the community in which you're saying you're trying to serve if you're not paying attention to those other voices and those other people. So, you know, kudos on taking that as well, because a lot of people don't. A lot of people are just like, I mean, I experienced, you know, the smaller side of Instagram and whatnot, you know, everybody coming up with their own top 10, you know, and they would just like, this is my top 10, this is my thing. And like, but you wouldn't hear anybody trying to listen to other people around them. And so that feels like more of a community built situation. So appreciation on that. Good job. Yep. Good run.
Oh, absolutely.
Appreciate it.
All right. So let's transition into the next question, which I know you definitely have a team that helps you out with this one. Let's talk about the mystery mail call. Well, tell us about the mystery mail call. You know, how do you guys select the books that go in there? You know, how long have you guys been doing?
How long after the start of the channel did you do the first box?
We had the box when we started the channel.
Okay.
We started the mystery mail call on Instagram with 25 members. 1 or 2 of them are still members from those.
They need like a special gold sticker or something.
But no, we started a long time ago, like 5 years ago, and this is essentially our Patreon. But you know, back when I started making content, I didn't enjoy the idea of committing to content to generate money to perform the content, if that makes sense, because I didn't make content that I was proud enough to charge people for. And to this day, I don't feel like that.
We've had multiple conversations about like, how do we, do we do a Patreon? Do we do some other sort of way to fund anything we do? And the easiest option always seemed to be, if people want to give us money, we should always give them comic books. We don't want to like make a separate tier of content that you have to pay to watch. Like, these are
yeah.
Like there's a lot of amazing channels, homies in the community, that have sponsors. There's a lot of great channels that have Patreons. There's a lot of great channels that have membership on YouTube, and that's all awesome in my book. Just at the very beginning, I've been selling comics since I was a little kid, since I was with my dad. Before this channel, I was like, I grew up in a comic store. Like, if people haven't heard that story, like, I've been doing this my whole life, like as early as I can remember. So, it just never felt right to put that kind of pressure on the content, because then I thought, I'm just gonna be making content to try to like sell something, like, yeah, join our Patreon or whatever. So immediately it was, hey, I can put together comics. Comics are awesome, and we're talking about comics, and let's feed into the industry and and give value to people who give us their time, because that's really the most important commodity. So we started with 25 people, and back then the box was very different. We didn't have as many cool comics as we do now.
Exclusives. Like, I don't know how long it took for us to get exclusives into the mix, but we also threw in a trade paperback / graphic novel into the box as well to up the perceived value on that thing.
Yep.
As well as, I don't know, 4 or 5 random back issues.
Yeah,
it's definitely evolved over the years.
Yeah, it's evolved, and where it's at now is it's more manageable, and we have a great community of people who have stuck with us, and they support the show, give us, as I say on the show way too much probably, but they give us an excuse to send them dope comics. I know I gotta change it, but like, there's so many shows we do, and there's only so many ways to say it, because we don't have a whole lot of ways to support the show. Like, we're just gonna make comics and get them out there, and then now we're starting to write comics, and we just want to empower others to do the same, and to help grow this industry, because it needs constant work.
Yeah, and I've noticed firsthand too, just from observing and talking to you. There's a lot of thought that goes in those mystery boxes. I mean, I know you guys do crazy giveaways in there. You guys do prints. You guys do exclusives. You do vintage. There's some keys in there. So, shout out to you guys. And by the way, who was that? Johnny Desjardins on the Darkwing Duck.
Thank you. Yeah,
shout out Johnny Desjardins. Killed it on the Darkwing and the Exiled. Okay, let's go.
Yeah, I do not know how we got these approved. I love it. I saw them. I'm like, Disney approved our covers. Like, I actually happen to have gargoyles here in front of me. I'm like, when I saw this, I was like, oh, there's no way. It's not Disney art,
A little too dark.
It's dark. I love it. I mean, it's Johnny.
Yeah.
But as soon as they approved it, I'm like, we can get that kind of treatment on Darkwing Duck. And they're like, yeah, we'll try. And sure enough, we did Darkwing Duck, and it's superb. And that's like one of the cool parts about the mail call that we take so seriously, is like, not only are our members like supporting what we do, and so we can make content and, try to do our best to like just give back as much as humanly possible to the community, but we're able to empower and work with artists who are so damn talented. The variant market specifically is such a special thing for comics, and we take it really seriously. And it's very important to all of us, which is why we spend a lot of time, and I obsess over it. It's like, when I'm not doing everything else, I'm trying to figure out like the next dope book I can make for the community. I'm trying to think of the next artist I can help and, bring up,
Yeah. No, I actually got to talk to Nate about it last night. I went to go see Ant-Man with him, and he was telling me about that.
That's right. He went out to the movies with Nate Made It.
You live in Chicago?
No, I live in Grand Rapids. He moved to Grand Rapids.
Oh, that's where he moved.
Yeah.
Whoa, you're blowing my mind right now.
Yeah, so you actually figured out last night.
Bro,
I know
we just found out we're
fraternity very well.
We actually found out we're fraternity brothers last night when we went out drinking. Yeah, it was fucking crazy, dude. It was like, I remember texting Theo. I'm just like, I was talking to him like, dude, we're like brothers. I didn't even freaking know it. We didn't even know we lived in town with each other. But yeah, it was anyways, small world. But yeah, he was telling me about the Mando having to get it cut. Because he ordered just the size. It's a little, because he was like, I was talking to Tom, and Tom put it on top of the box, and I thought it looked good, and Tom goes, look again. And he's like, oh yeah.
So like, for those of you who don't know, Nate Made It. Shout out my brother. When it's dope, Nate Made It. He was this is like, dude, comics are so small. This is like proof right here that we find each other, but like Phil, I barely know you. I know Rage. I talk to him a lot, and Phil, you're a lovely guy, and he makes some damn good content. But Nate is like my graphic designer. He updates my website. Like he's like a member of my team. Like I've done 35, 40 covers with the gentleman. And prior to us working together, he had never done or worked in comics. And that's kind of part of the responsibility of making variant covers, is constantly being on the grind to discover talent and to try and just introduce just some amazingly talented people to the comic book community, because this is how it grows. We gotta, if you don't have the comics physically in hand, it all goes away. It all goes away. And like, don't forget for 1 second that this is like a dead medium that shouldn't exist. There's a reason why it's digital. There's a reason why I read mostly digital. Ryan reads mostly digital. Jem Mint used to read on his freaking phone. He reads it on his tablet now. You know, like there's.
I mean, whenever I have
comics,
FOMO from
like
selling an actual physical copy, I go online and read it digitally. I mean,
so it's like if these don't get printed, a lot will not be made, and that's not an option. Which is why the collectors community, the variant market is so important, because it's like one of the foundations of this entire industry we love.
It's the only
you want to
reason
recover
it's still
A's,
alive.
you're gonna have.
I'm glad you say that, because Gabriel just actually chimed in with a perfect question. I think that we can continue into right there. What's your thoughts on the influx of books with high ratios and indies with small print runs? Is it inflating the market? What's your guys' thoughts? Ryan,
one second here. We're getting some interference too. I don't know what's. Jesus God, who the hell is this dude? What the shit? Oh no, we have a party crasher. We invited him once. He hasn't left.
Yeah, is this where the party's at? Is this where the party's at?
The golden age guru, ladies and gentlemen. Amazing. He's here.
What's up, guys?
Sorry, go back to the question. I apologize. We just had a surprise. We just had a surprise guest. So you're welcome. You're welcome. Well, I did it for you, Theo. I just throw that curve. You get better at it every time. Just curveball.
It's comics and chaos, yo.
This is
I love
chaos.
it.
And believe it or not, I'm bringing the chaos.
Stand for it.
This is gotcha journalism at its best. Damn it! What were we being asked?
The influx of ratios.
Yeah, there you go.
The influx of ratios.
Indie small print runs.
What are your thoughts on the influx of books with high ratios, 1 in 300s, and indies with small print runs? Is it inflating the market? Such a good question. What do you think, Ryan? I want to hear my thoughts on that.
I don't know. I haven't really learned about ratios until very recently, but I feel like if a store is in the position to order 300 plus, I don't think any small store is going to like take that big of a risk, because you have to sell the books you order at some point. Otherwise, they'll end up just filling up a back issue bin in the back of your shop.
Yep.
I feel like a shop like Midtown or something could probably comfortably handle a 300 plus order to hit one of those rare ratio variants. Or like if it's a book like us that we're ordering a bunch of copies for the mystery mail call, and it's definitely more than 300 copies that way. So maybe then larger people could take advantage for that. But I think if you're a smaller shop, it doesn't make much sense to over order a book that you can't move just to get one of the rare ratio variants that might not even really end up being worth it in the end.
I know, like with Berserker, like with the 1 in 1000s and stuff like that. I know people that specifically had to, because of their shop, buy 1,000 copies. Buy hundreds of copies of the book. Like if you want us to order that for you,
Phil, and that's worth it.
I know. Just so you can get dressed up and put some fake blood on.
I absolutely love high ratio variants. And I think it's very important for the comic book marketplace. If you enjoy Boss Logic as an artist in this industry, you better have a 1 in 300 for him as an option. It's pretty damn expensive. He's one of the best and greatest artists in the freaking world. And he takes time to draw Ninja Turtles because he loves comics. Raf Grassetti, someone we work with, art director of God of War, one of the greatest games of all time, spends time drawing comic covers because he wants to. Not because he has to. And if he gets asked to do a 1 in 15, 1 in 25, 1 in 100, that's an amazing thing to be able to bring this talent in. Also, there's every year there are less comic stores than there were the year before. And yet I remind everybody, just 2 years ago, for an entire quarter, 3 months, stores were shut down. They had to operate out of their store. They couldn't even bring their employees in. Some stores were forbidden to even open up. A lot of stores closed down. We bought multiple stores. In our group, Jeff, you attest, more than 5 stores closed. People who lost everything. but we, but because we're a community and we make sure people are taken care of, they were able to exit in, with respect and not just like give it away. Right. But my point is that incentives allow those who are investing in these comic books a way to get diverse inventory to lower their risk in the event that they're not unable to move, let's say, 3,000 Marvel comics or 4,000 DC comics or 500 Boom comics. So if you can get a store, let's say like Ninja Funk, right? Who there was a lot of support. A lot of people ordered Ninja Funk. There didn't have to be a 1 in 250. There didn't have to be a 1 in 250, but that decision to have there be a 1 in 250, that was the creators or whoever, their team that made that happen. They paid this cover, they funded it. It was a Boss Logic, by the way, if you didn't know. The Kevin Eastman cover. How expensive is to make a Kevin Eastman cover? Like, yes, it's to gross sales, right? But when you get to 250, how many stores are ordering 250 comics? That right there is the publisher / creative team doing a solid to those who are investing in the book. They're doing them a freaking favor, because if you have to order 500 copies, you're either going to get a 1 in 5, you're either going to get a couple 1 in 250s or 1 in 500 if it's available, or not. And not every variant sells out. We have one of the more popular channels on YouTube. We sell a lot of comic books.
Comic book channels.
Comic book
I'd
themed
clarify
channels.
that, yeah.
You know.
One of the most popular.
No, excuse me. No, like, collecting, where we focus on comic book collecting in the market and things like that, obviously. Where we cover on like variant comics.
Ryan, you're savage.
Hey, thank you. Keep me on.
I'm known as being a savage.
But and we sell a lot of variant comics, and we do not sell out of them. It's a constant grind of like being patient and not, overspending and having too many covers that just you're unable to move. It's what ends a lot of stores, especially. So anyways, it's about that like risk assessment that I really respect about it too, because there's a lot of stores, whether they have brick and mortars or not, that make variant comics, and it supports the industry. It's like the foundation of it.
As a reader, I just try to pick one copy and live my life that way.
I like cover A.
Can I put an asterisk there? The foundation of the comic industry is the LCSs. Correct. Don't get it twisted.
Yes.
But beyond that, one of the reasons why LCSs and the new stores that are emerging and that are still coming up, the next gen, those individuals.
Well, I mean, they're also the only
new
reason
foundation.
comics are still being printed though too, because like you were saying, like this is a dying, like it's paper. It's not something that's just all of a sudden like, oh my gosh, we need to print more comics. They haven't been thinking about that for the last few years. It's this kind of market. It's those kinds of ratios. It's these variants. It's the interest in speculation and that economy that's built around comics still circulating is what's keeping Marvel publishing more titles and DC publishing more titles. What they thought that we might have been doing when COVID began, and all those things started, like, oh my God, this could be the death knell to all these things. We've got more books coming out now than ever, and that's because of this side of the industry, in my opinion. I don't know.
No, I agree.
Yeah.
I think that's 100% because of this part of the industry. There's a reason why we have even comic creators, I won't like say specific ones, that they're not really like into like the collectible end of it, like paying more than cover price, but every one of their titles has 1 in 10s, 1 in 25s, 1 in 100s, 1 in 250 for a reason.
Yeah.
It's not hypocrisy. It's that it's part of the way that stores even like that. The level of risk that I just described is for someone who wants to take one issue of an entire run of comics. Imagine the amount of money it costs to do every single issue. I can tell you my idea because we're making a comic. It's expensive as hell. Every one of those is a giant project. And to support that project, those stores have to order them and hope the customers pick it up. Hope that they pay for it. Hope that people come in and that the marketing was done enough on the publisher end and media end to drive people to a comic store. Right? There's a lot of times where you're saying hope, and the LCS is the one waiting. Their money is already out. They paid for it, and they're waiting to get it back. If that store can be incented to buy 3 more copies of a comic book to get that 1 in 25, to be able to possibly make $15, $20, maybe $25 off of that one dope ass book by David Finch. Yeah, it's a pretty important thing to have then.
Yeah, Absolutely. Absolutely.
Enough said.
Yeah, well said.
So, yeah,
Jeff, any thoughts on that?
I
Yeah,
think
Jeff is
for
here.
me, yeah, the variety of people in this hobby, I think needs to be recognized, and I feel like people are in the hobby for whatever reason they are in it, and I feel they project that being the way that it should be for everybody from time to time. But there's just so many lanes to be in with the hobby itself, whether it's collecting, reading, um, you know, just whatever your
Speculation, investing, yeah.
speculation, any of that. And none of it's really wrong. It's just the way to get into the hobby. And the more people that come in with whatever reason they come in, the better it's going to be for everyone, because we're going to have the material being absorbed by more people. And so for me, when you talk about ratios being higher, it's like, okay, well, for those people who want something more special too, instead of the other 299, they want that 300th version, they'll pay up to have it because that's what they want. They want to be able to collect it on the newer end of books and get that more rare version of a cover. So I think it's important for like you said, helping offset costs of the that you need to put out to even have the comics in your store, but that also feeds the need of the person who wants something more special too, instead of just buying the regular ratio variants or the regular variant or cover B, whatever it is. Right. So like I said, it's the whole hobby. I mean, we could go back, start in 1938 if we want to go that far. All right. So if you're going to tell me that in all those years there's only one way to really do comics, I mean, that's you're nuts. All right. It's been around for 90 plus years. It's going to evolve. It's going to change. Let's all just go with the flow. Let's enjoy it. We have it. Why complain about it? For the love of God.
So many people though too, right? I mean,
yes.
Artists, writers, people that, especially like as an indie comic guy myself, I'm much more of an indie comic guy than I like DC. I like Marvel, yes, but I like indie comics. And to me, one of the coolest things about this recent boom in comics is the diverse amount of writers and the diverse amount of artists that can actually stick with comics. Like beforehand, everybody wanted to get the out of comics. Everybody that was in comics was just like, I can't wait until I can work on movies. I want to be a screenwriter on a set, and I want to do all these other different things. And they wanted to get out of comics. This was just a thing to do to get into something else. And now all of a sudden, like, I can make a living in comics. I can do that. I can support I can tell stories that people love to digest in this medium that I enjoy and where I'm starting. I can live in this, and that's one of the most interesting things about this time. I feel like right now, especially in indie comics, that there are so many people coming out to actually have that original thought and those different things. I don't know. I find like that's what's really special right now about the comic market and what it has done and what it has done for the entire economy and especially our creatives out there in the world.
And real quick, I will have one gripe with the hobby. I'm not saying that it's perfect. By the way, it's not perfect. All right. Not much in this world is perfect. Okay. So let's just realize that. But what I will say is that I would like the cost of comics to be less, because it would be nice to have the ability to have less expensive these cover prices, so that more people.
300 affordable. I want
We're
a
about to get into the next question here. How about that?
Yeah,
we'll let you start there. There you go.
Well, let him finish. Let him finish real quick, Theo. Let him finish.
Yeah. What I'm saying is, I'd like cover prices to be less, more for the fact that it gives people with budgets to buy more titles and be open to more.
Try new things.
People can have their pull box be more than like 3 books a month, 4 books a month. It'd be nice to just see that become, 5 a month instead of 3. Let's go up some. I'm not saying you got to cut it in half. I'm not saying, whatever. Like I said, it's not perfect, but it'd be nice. Like movies, for the love of God, why are you raising prices for certain sections to sit in the movie? I'd rather have a refund. How about giving me a refund because the movie sucked? I'm not going to get a refund if the movie sucks, am I? Yet I'm going to pay more for a better seat in a theater. Like, get out of here. Like, come on.
Yep.
That's
just an AMC thing, right?
So far.
So far. Anywho.
But yeah, thoughts on the current comic market. Ryan, Tom, we'll start off with you guys here on this one. What are your Theo? Any interpretations on that?
I'm enjoying it. I have an enormous pull list that I can barely keep up with. But I
Same.
love current comics. It's the only kind I like to read, if I'm being 100% honest.
Yeah.
The market itself, yeah, it'd be nice if they didn't cost as much. It'd be nice if the paper quality was a little less flimsy,
I
especially in
wish
like
everything
Marvel
was free.
books. I don't have any real complaints, besides the stuff you hear everybody say. They restart stuff too much. Runs aren't as long as they used to be. I don't care. I like reading them.
What's
I'll
some of your favorite
piggyback
things to
over-
read right now?
I love it. That's probably the most positive answer I've heard in a long time on the thoughts on the market right now.
I'm a reader. I like reading them.
That's
it.
amazing.
I don't care what cover I get. I mean, as long as the cover I get is something that visually appeals to me, I just get one per book. I don't like to buy multiples or different variants for the same book. I just want to read it.
What's one of your favorite ones you're reading right now, though, Ryan?
The Approach. I really love that from Boom Studios.
Did I have it right here?
I'm a big fan of Spy Superb from Dark Horse. That book cracks me the hell up.
Have you read The Approach?
I've got the
Boom
first
Studios.
issue. I have not cracked them yet. I've got them all in my stack. I've got, I think
You're
the
good.
first
You might
three.
want to. Yeah, it's better to save up a little bit and read it.
I definitely don't like only reading them
once a month
slowly.
is a pain in the ass sometimes.
I
especially with-
have no patience. I have to get the trade paperback, or I wait until I've got at least the first 3 to 4 issues before I read it.
I
They
can
need-
go off on my favorites, but there's a few.
Well, here's an
How
idea.
about you, Tom?
Go ahead, finish up. Sorry.
Thoughts on the comic marketplace? I mean,
Yeah.
there's always a lot of good comics to read. It doesn't seem to be as much. I mean, it's always like feels like it's in a state of decline with new titles. There's always like things getting canceled and stuff, but there's actually a lot of great comics out there right now. Really enjoying like Poison Ivy.
Yep.
That was
It's in my top 3.
yeah. I caught up on Ghost Rider. It's freaking dope.
I think Marvel especially has really
Marvel's
stepped up their
been-
game in the last year or two. I have not been the
Absolutely.
biggest Marvel fan, but
It's what is also I mean this in the most respectful way, but I'm not talking about Al Ewing or Donny Cates that often. I'm talking about other creators a lot more.
sure.
Like, as far as ones that I'm like, oh damn, like these titles are getting me. Like Nightwing, all over this last year, Daredevil, everything Chip Zdarsky's doing,
Yep.
especially with Batman has been so freaking good. So it's like it's a great time to be reading and getting comic books. As far as collecting, the FOMO right now is real. There are books getting cheap, like 9/8 of characters on the screen premiering this weekend. It's $200 cheap. So if we're talking about the market, FOMO is getting real right now in this house. I'm like, I don't want to. I'm busy.
But question though, just making sure that
collector.
just making sure that's what you mean though, because the FOMO is getting real, but you're saying the books are getting cheap.
Yeah. Like there's like a lot of books
Should it
that
be the other way
To
around?
get
They're so
was that?
cheap. The FOMO's there.
they're so cheap that I'm
Oh,
like,
okay,
oh
got
man,
it,
I don't
got
want
it.
to spend all my freaking money. But like, how cheap is Batman Adventures 12 getting right now?
Okay.
Oh
No, it's
so
up
getting so
twice.
much.
He said
Better
okay.
than-
I
Well-
don't look at first appearances. I don't give a crap. Give me my pull list.
Yeah.
Bad
See, like,
Avengers 12. Huge right now. $2,800 and a $3,000 sale. The last 2. That's crazy.
Right, which is like,
It's spiking now.
well, it's going. I mean, yeah, it's spiking because like the Harley stuff that just came out and stuff, and I'm sure it's more attention. But like I'm saying, that there's some times in the last couple of months where it's like, just like me as a collector, I'm just like, damn, I really want to buy this book. I don't need. It's gonna sit in my freaking closet, but I really want it. It's just,
exactly
it's just
right.
real, yo. It's
I
just
could
it's
really
comic
use an
collecting,
8th
yo.
copy of this. I could really use an 8th copy. Well,
That's the problem, yo. That's how I collect. When I go in, like you saw me this last year, man. They said Jim Carrey may be MODOK, and I've stayed away from Ant-Man spoilers. I don't think Jim Carrey is going to be the surprise MODOK. It's pretty much confirmed that it's not, but I'm still hoping in here that it's going to be a gotcha moment. And I spent way too much money on MODOK this year because I was like, hey, Jim Carrey MODOK, let's get it. Let's get
that would
it.
be cool.
How cool
So
would that been?
I'm gonna let you know you may or may not be right. I don't want to spoil it for you. But,
Don't tell me
It was a fantastic movie. You should see it.
It was
I
a
love
great-
MODOK. Became a comic that I like buying. Kirby cover. He's on the cover in the bottom corner. You almost miss it.
Yep.
I don't think he gets enough cred. It's a cool book. Jeff, you know what I'm
But-
talking about. Damn it.
I do. I do.
How about you,
Kirby,
Jeff?
man.
Thoughts on the
It
market,
actually,
too?
spoiler alert, it was actually Kevin Hart with MODOK. So
Oh,
Sorry about that.
Because he's so
well,
small.
Spoiler
they had
alert,
the
guys.
childlike hands and legs right. So
Like T-Rex.
he was comedy relief the entire time. That's what it was.
But yeah, as far as like the good time to buy right now, just like consume a lot of your favorite YouTubers content. Doesn't have to be ours. There's a lot of great people doing it. Recommend like Swaggle House does a really good job doing like ongoing market analysis. Comic Book Invest, David over there, Dave from Comic Book Invest, and he does a lot of great work too.
Yep. Good stuff.
Bryce Comics as well. Just like leverage your resources when people are chatting about it and they're using like trusted resources like GPA, et cetera, to give you a better idea of if this is a good time to buy something or not, because you may want to wait on some things, but other things it may be a really good time to do it if you're looking to buy some comics.
I have optimism for this collectible hobby this year.
Me too.
I mean, since December last year, again, you got to understand, comics every year at the end of the year slow down. They just do. It's a great time to buy if you have confidence in it, and then throw in the slide of the market on top of that. It looked horrible, but since December, we're seeing January slow ticks up. February, I've been to a con. I'm seeing a lot of attention coming back to books and people just realizing that, maybe it's time to pick up some things. We got a lot of growth happening and a lot of exciting movies coming out. And I think the energy's coming back. So I don't know. I just, I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it with the collectors. I'm feeling it with the readers. I don't know about you guys, but on my end, it just seems like the energy's still there and the interest in the hobby's still there. And from where it was to where it is now, it just feels like there's some opportunity to get into books now if you've always wanted to go and freaking finally do it. It's always hard to time the bottom of a market, guys. So sometimes you just got to pull the trigger at some point and get in. And I think I'm seeing people do that now.
Sounds like it's a great time to go after that grail you've been chasing.
Yeah, especially grails.
Yeah.
Can't go wrong with grails, guys, because a grail for you is usually a grail for everybody else.
Well, I mean, yeah, and right here, Mikey Comics said it best right there. Boom. Now's the time to buy a Torok 1. Let's freaking go.
Damn right.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Damn right.
I'm still going to wallpaper a room with that one day. I still feel like because I just see people sitting on stacks of them, and I'm just like, it'd be really cool to just, publish a wall with this, just wallpapered in that. But yeah, no, Ant-Man was great. Sorry, my headphone went out for a while there, though, but great movie last night. Kevin Hart killed it.
Yeah. He's in everything.
Killed it.
Okay, so we're gonna deviate just a pinch here, and we're gonna go ahead and go down this route. So, question for Tom and Fire Guy Ryan, you too. Do you guys only sell on Whatnot?
I believe the answer is yes.
Ryan,
I don't sell anywhere.
you're the.
I can give you a
You're
drum
just
roll.
so biased, Ryan. All you do is sell on Whatnot. You don't like buying any. You don't even sell anywhere else. You're just a Whatnot diehard. All
That's
you
me.
care about is Whatnot.
That's true.
Damn it, Ryan.
I know. I'm so loud.
He is the
promoting
only
my
one
own
that
channel.
exclusively sells on Whatnot.
That's right.
It's true.
Tom's just my puppet.
That's right. It's Whatnot.
True Wizard.
No. Yeah, Whatnot's awesome. But so I only sell on Whatnot. No. I have a website, comicston101.com.
I guess we sell a mail call. I guess does that count?
Yeah, we have one of the largest ongoing like monthly comic book subscription service in the world, and we serve our community, which is dope. We also sell on eBay sometimes. I'm probably gonna add some stuff on there soon. I've had an eBay store passed down from my dad from when I was a kid. We used to both work on it, so it's old as hell.
Shout out to Comic Pops.
Comic Pops. It's my dad.
Yeah,
Got me into
fantastic,
comics.
dude. Okay, and so let's go to the next one then. What gives you faith in Whatnot as a selling platform when you look to the future for this one?
Oh, what gives me faith in Whatnot? Okay, so there's two questions here within this one. I don't know if the person who asked it realizes it. Whatnot is a selling platform for live selling. That's like the main thing. There's other aspects of the marketplace, but it's live selling at its core, right? What gives you faith in live selling as a platform is one question. What gives me faith in Whatnot as one of the leading live selling platforms is another. So for both, I mean, it's kind of the same question, or they're different answers. They're similar. I'll answer them both beginning right Now, as a live selling platform, there's nothing more impacting, rejuvenating, just exciting about buying comics than live selling. The best part of comic collecting is going to your LCS. It's having your friend come over who just got a new collection. It's trading your homies like with comics. It's going to swap meets, going to estate sales, going to comic shows, like doing the comic community stuff. The best parts of it. But you got to go and do it. You got to do it in person. And for 2 years, we couldn't even do that. And it sucked. It was really, really crappy. And now we can do it not just in person, but we can do it remotely.
We're referring to the COVID lockdowns.
Yeah, absolutely. Like we got hit with that being taken away, and then fortunately, live selling just arrived, and arrived in the form largely as far as the comic community with Whatnot. There's other live selling platforms. It's been going on for a long time. This is happening in other countries, like all over the place. However, notice that comic books, it took Whatnot to step in. And I think that they deserve more kudos about that than others, because there's other live selling platforms that have not even really begun paying attention to it, because it is such a tough thing to do. It is very difficult. The comic community being served takes so much more care and responsibility. It costs more. There's just so much to it when you compare it to like Magic the Gathering or Pokemon sales or something like that. You know what I mean? You can ship a card for cents, but a comic, starting with first class, yo. If there's more than one comic in there, bet your ass is going to cost you $10. Like, you know, it's not easy to do. So as far as live selling goes, it's the best thing to happen to comics since eBay. As far as Whatnot goes, it's the best thing to happen to comics since eBay, because it's absolutely growing the community. It's growing the production of comic books, and it's empowering sellers and LCSs for the first time to be able to like do it in their own house by the click of a button. There are publishers thriving right now because of Whatnot. So absolutely. Do I have faith in it in live selling long term? Absolutely. Do I have faith in Whatnot long term? They're the first ongoing sponsor we've ever had in 5 years. And I didn't make that decision lightly.
That's true. Could have had all sorts of hair trimmers.
Which still shocks me that you guys didn't have a sponsor until recently with Whatnot.
Yeah, we did it ourselves. It was really easy to make that decision because the sponsors came in the form of, I'll give you money to talk about my comic book. It came in the form of, I'll give you money to talk about a Kickstarter, Indiegogo, a project, an artist, a variant, a store. I'll give you money to talk about a review.
You were, like, turning down things from like Manscaped.
Oh, that too.
And that sort of stuff.
Oh, no. There are those. Right. Don't get it twisted. There's a lot of shirt companies. Like, we get hit up, like everybody who has a YouTube channel eventually is going to start getting hit up like, hey, we'll give you $50 if you review. I'm not doing that, yo. I'm not doing that. So that's the first thing. But then it's like, it doesn't feel right to be like, yo, check this Kickstarter out. I'm getting paid for this, but check it out. Like, I tell people when they want me to talk about their Kickstarter, I'll check out your Kickstarter. If I want to talk about it, I'll talk about it. If I don't, you probably don't want me to talk about it. Right? It's fair enough.
It's more honest.
I just don't want to have any bias as it pertains to the comics that I'm being paid to talk about. So I just don't get paid to talk about them. Very easy decision.
I respect that. Okay.
Are you muted, Phil?
Yeah, Phil, are you muted?
The nice thing about like talking about something that broad is that it gives access for everyone too. So that's, kudos on choosing something that can actually apply to everyone, and it shouldn't, stop other people from feeling what's the word I'm looking for, but feeling out of place when they would come on your show or they would have a conversation with you, because maybe it's X shop and their variants and you're hawking their books, and now we're back with so-and-so who's visiting from so-and-so. It's almost like a barrier for a lot of people in places. I know that's something Theo and I we've even had a couple people approach us with just this little group that we've got right now of following to say, we want to sponsor you. And we're like, I love it. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for thinking about us. But unfortunately, we can't accept anything right now because it sets too many barriers for our guests and for our friends to come on because it just doesn't feel right. So no, kudos on that. Picking
No
up platforms
walls.
is a very mature conversation to have, especially when it comes to your shows and your community that you serve.
But like, don't get it twisted. It's definitely a privilege to be able to say and do that. Like if we didn't have our community, I'd be shaving my face on camera. Like, we got to pay Ryan somehow, Comic Fam. You know, that's kind of like the feeling. Like, if I have to shave to do it, that's how you do it.
Starve to death to shave my beard.
But it works because the content that we talk about, we take it very seriously. You know, it's a strange thing, but our most consumed videos are the trending 10 and the hot 10. You know, we make fun podcasts about comic books. You know, with the Guru, and we have LCS owners on to talk about comic sales and the collectible hobby and stuff. And it's like, it's so much fun. And it also needs to be so damn accurate that, you know, you're giving me kudos having specialists on the show, you know, people who know this better than I do. And it's like, I appreciate you noticing that, but also we wouldn't have grown the way we have without Russ Bright and Golden Age Guru specifically. But there's also other people too. You know, John Hill, he's a mentor. I've known him since I was a little kid. Saw him last week. Bought a bunch of comics from him. You know, my dad obviously impacted me a lot. And there's a lot of other dealers that I've learned from too. And there's no half-assing talking about comic books. The Comic Fam is one of like the smartest group of collectors. You cannot BS this community. They see through it.
I've tried.
You can't. I know, right? Ryan's been trying for so long now. You can't. It's like we're talking about people who care if the book, and I'm one of them. If it's a VF or a near mint.
You have manhandled the hell out of that book, by the way. That's one of my favorite books in existence right now. And you're looking right now.
If I read, I have comic books I read. This is how I feel about them. If this hurts you, read your comics.
A little bit.
There's nothing better than rolling up a comic, putting it in your pocket, and then being in line and going, 1 second.
You don't like his approach, Ryan?
Guys, do you see Ryan about to explode here?
I know that it hurts Ryan,
It's
but
a good thing he's on camera right now.
Yo, I love it
It's
when
hurting
I have
me,
damages. I have damages. There's nothing like just like rolling up a freaking 1 in 25, putting that in your pocket.
That's what we did when we were kids. When we were kids and we were reading these for the first time.
He's mad.
We were
He's like,
about
stop
the
touching my
condition.
comic like that.
I mean, how many of us were concerned with the condition when we were kids? You know, when we were picking up that Jim Lee
Never.
X-Men 1. You know,
Never.
I wasn't thinking to myself like, man, I'm gonna go to college on this one day.
These are historical.
You know,
Guys,
set my kids to school.
If you all
I'm gonna
read your
this.
comics like this guy with a freaking glove, this guy reads his comics with a glove. If we're all doing this, turning the page and wash our
Ryan,
hands.
I
Turn the page,
respect
wash our
that,
hands.
by the way. I do the same thing if it's a book
I
I,
got
love.
greasy
And
hands, man. I'm a
intend on
greasy son of a
keeping.
bitch.
There's going to be too many near mint comics. You're going to be mad in 20 years, Rage. All your John Wick comics are going to be worthless because there's a sentence of 1,009.8. You need to contribute to the comic market, damn it.
There is not 1,009.8
You
on
need
that
to
book,
damage
baby.
some-
Okay,
In
that
20
book
years.
is super tough in a 9.8. That I can tell you right now.
It's true. It's true.
Oh, God. You know, but you are a writing tandem now.
We are.
You are a writing tandem now.
It's a different way to work with somebody.
And you know what? We've been on for an hour, so I do want to touch on that because I love where the conversation's going. But
You told me if you haven't gotten to Crashdown in the first half hour,
Right.
damn it.
Did you guys notice I sent him notes in the
Ridiculous.
background? I was sending him notes. I'm like, Theo, we need to get to Crashdown.
Why inspire you to write Crashdown?
Well, let's tell people
It's all
about
about the
Crashdown.
money, the grease, the
let
Benjamin
me show
baby.
people.
I wanna
Let me show
smell
let
the
me
green.
show people Crashdown real quick. Let's show them. Let's show them.
Show them, Dad.
Looks like we're coming on a pretty bad storm here, everyone. So if you need to, make sure you visit the bathroom now.
There's a bathroom on this thing? I've just been going in my suit. This mist is terrible. I can't see anything.
Stay focused. You trained for this. Do you see that?
I see clouds, I see lightning, I think I see water.
Collect yourself. Look at the radar. Land. Adjust course 9 degrees starboard and decrease thrust. One thing at a time.
Shit, you're right. How do you stay so calm?
This is the easy part. We're making history here. No matter what happens. We'll go down.
And
I'd
our
say
1
the
hour's
voice
up.
acting
Goodbye.
was on point.
Nice, dude.
Coming to
Voice
an
acting
LCS
was
near
on
you.
point,
Crash
bro.
down.
Bro, no, I laughed. I laughed when I saw that. I saw that whole like I've got to go to the bathroom. I couldn't. I laughed a little too loud at that. I won't lie. I won't.
Oh,
That was
thank
really
you
good.
guys. I appreciate it. We're having fun, we got Ben Templesmith, living horror legend. I don't even know what life we're living right now, but
So
he's a
tell
great
us about
friend
it.
and-
So you're coming out with a comic book called Crash Down.
yes, through Whatnot
Written-
Publishing.
Written by you, written by the both of you.
Yes, we're not the only masterminds behind this project. We couldn't do it without living horror legend, writer, artist Ben Templesmith.
He is alive.
He is
NT,
alive. I like I say when I say
NT.
living. At least last I checked, I hope he is.
Stress that. Stress the living.
And then also our just crazy smart, just like sees through our crap and helps make it great. Editor Michael Calero, and he's just a wealth of knowledge. He's a co-owner of Whatnot Publishing. I believe that's his
Writer and artist
or
himself.
owner. I don't know, but like he's a head of Whatnot Publishing with Kevin Rodatelli. He's the artist of Alpha Betas, writer of Quested, and overall cool guy and good friend. And he's texting us as we talk right now about our book that we wrote. It's a sci-fi horror. We're taking our readers to another planet after Earth dies, and with the attempt of bringing the first colony there.
It was beautiful. It was good. I'm glad you did that and I didn't have to.
Yes.
I love it. When does it come out?
So we're actually getting the final pages for issue 1 probably in the next couple days. Issue
Hopefully,
2
yeah,
is almost done. Issue 3 is what we're working. It's gonna be a 3-issue arc, maybe a 0 or 4th issue. It's a possibility. We're still toying with the ending. We may have some like flashback stuff we may go back to. This was an idea that I was doing before Whatnot was even a thing. This was all like, or not Whatnot Comics rather, and before we ever sold on Whatnot did anything with
Whatnot Publishing specifically.
It's
You and Ben
both.
have been tossing around the
Both.
idea of doing a comic book together for a while.
Yeah,
Without me.
true. And
And
then,
I'm fine with that.
well, what happened was I was interested in
tell,
making a
right?
comic book with Ben T. And it's got some Lovecraft vibes to it. Obviously, it's called Crash Down, and we have characters. The company's name is Apollo. Obviously, we're Battlestar Galactica fans, and we also like Lost. This guy is a big. He's actually a member of the Dharma Initiative. Has a tattoo on his body.
Can't
So
talk
like,
about that, dude.
we can't talk. I'm sorry, but
Personal tattoos.
it
I
is.
love Lost.
We're having fun.
I loved
though.
it until the last episodes, but yes. I
Yeah,
loved
yeah.
Lost,
I wasn't gonna go there, but thanks, Phil.
Go
But
watch them again. They're good. Still good.
But it's
Still
ideal. We're
good.
shooting to have release happen around San Diego. Is like what we're working hard on. Maybe-
SDCC. Oh, a little
yeah,
release.
we're
at San
hoping
Diego.
that we have
Okay.
the community, support around that time. We'll be out there in person. Ryan will join, and it'll be a hoot.
You're my first time going.
We're working with a lot of our artists that we've worked with in the past. It's a lot of fun. It's a interesting thing to add to our current grind of what we've been doing for the last few years, because it's like
It's a lot of work.
making us pause everything that we have to do, and then we have to like go into a different part of our brain and shut out everything, turn our phones off. We've even had to like leave the locations where our computers are so we can go to a new space to get creative, go to a coffee shop.
Fewer
and,
distractions.
Mhm.
I think Tom
Go
turns
sit on
his phone
go
any
sit on
phone-
the side of a mountain. Yeah.
That's
got
how
two
that
phones.
works.
2 phones is what I have to do.
Turn your phone off my ass.
That's true. Yeah. But my computer and going somewhere else. But it's actually been a lot of fun because we have an interesting way that we're making this, and it's something that I don't know, when you see the pages get colored and they become real, it's like, oh wow, I didn't have the recipe to make this dish without him. So, and without Ben and Michael, and it all comes together. And then I'm looking at this, we baked a freaking cake. We made a a gabagool, you know. It's
the gabagool.
you know, and it's awesome. We stand back and go, oh, these are kids, you know. Ryan and I made a baby, and there's these characters we talk about like they're real.
Violently murdered.
Yeah, that's true. We're writing stories about characters, and then we're talking about the ways we can have them killed on panel. Like, oh, I want to see this person. We have this whole backstory. You know, this is what they think. What's fun about a comic? There's only like 22 pages, right? We're keeping it concise. You know, we got one of the masters of 3-issue comic book stories drawing our book. So we're gonna do this justice, right? And these characters, the best way to write them is to build up who they are, their experiences, and then to like write that down somewhere. We may use it, we probably won't, but in our heads, it's part of the canon. Whether it'll actually become canon is another story, because we may not want it to be canon, but it's helpful to think of these people as real. And then we're having conversations about their decisions in their lives that are never going to hit the pages, and we're arguing about them and how they would talk to their partner and what they would say to their friend. And is this person going to be psychotic, or are they just going to be a dangerous person? And we will have these.
That's an actual conversation.
We'll get into conversations about ethics and how people think and what people do, and you know, and all of a sudden, one panel happens,
and it didn't matter at all.
It didn't matter. But we'll get to issue 3. And now it's like, oh, we talked about this, and now this makes sense. He is a psychopath.
So question, is this all like, how do I word this? Original thoughts, or did you guys get inspired by any other properties and projects?
It's basically just Lost on a spaceship. We named all the characters the same. There's going to be a bunker that they find in the ground.
Can we say
time machine?
Say some of their
smoke
names.
monster, a polar bear.
I'm not kidding. This time we actually did base the names of our pilot and our co-pilot. Their last names are Locke and Shepard.
Yeah.
As a direct,
No shit.
direct.
No shit.
Yeah, we're not messing around. We're not messing around.
We have influences. We have certain.
As long as his name's not John, we're okay. But yeah, holy shit.
And we want to honor with some character names. Character names are specifically one thing. I don't know if there's any character in this thing that isn't influenced or an homage to.
One of the characters is a soldier. Her name's Rosa, which is like named after my grandma.
Okay, there you go.
So
I was thinking more of the Hereditary character.
Oh yeah, we have.
As well.
I have a Hereditary too. It's my favorite movie of all time, and
fantastic.
We have a bunch.
I thought it was maybe like the Rosa from Aliens. I remember there was a character named that one of the Space Marines.
We did copy the name Lambert. That is from Alien. We took that.
Yep, took it.
That in
we
here.
saw it. We just said, we want it. We took it. Fine.
Love it.
But yeah, no, I mean, there's little things that are like directly inspired, but we're names, not that. But
right.
I'm purposely trying to avoid being like other comics. I'm trying to read a lot of Ben Temple-Smith comic books because I'm not necessarily trying to learn from the narrative, but I'm trying to learn from the flow, how he communicates a short sequence through panels so that I can, be inspired when we're trying to discuss how someone's going to get torn apart and what will be cool to, what to highlight. What should the color of the flames be? Things like that you don't, when you think about like writing a comic, there's a list of things you got to answer.
So much detail. Yeah.
You wouldn't even think about until you're actually going, I got to explain this to someone else. They got to be able to do what's in our head.
For example, we recently got a note from our editor, Michael, that you guys don't use any of the character names in the dialogue. First page. It's in the script because we write down, oh, this is Jimmy talking to Sally or whatever.
Yeah, like they say their name every once in a while.
Hey,
like, oh, damn.
That never really. So
like,
we had to.
Yeah, like, oh, you make a good point, Jim. Yeah.
we're definitely new at this. This is our first published work in comics, Jim. And we're definitely leaning on people who've done this many times, and we have one of the best, two of some of the best independent comic creators helping us make this a reality.
Tom and me. That's
only 3 issues, right? You said only 3 issues?
At least 3.
At least 3 right now.
We might expand either on the back end with a 4th or the front end with a 0.
There's part of this whole thing is like every page you do,
you realize how short a comic page is.
And then you think, here's another idea. Like there's been so many times where we're like, this would be such a great comic book. Like we're going to talk about the arrival on this new planet, right?
I haven't even really gotten into it yet.
I'm gonna say what the planet's name is.
Imperium.
Oh my God.
So we're gonna arrive there, right? After cryo, after people wake out of cryo sleep, and they're gonna descend there. So that right there is the bulk of the story, what they find, what they experience in a very short amount of time. And in that, it's like, where do they come from? So there's a little bit about like why we left Earth, but then we start talking about that and going into, we're creating a backstory, you know, like why, how did they get there? Why did they get there? How did it become possible? And this thing, you know, there's like a whole arc that I want to, I don't know, whether
we could easily make a prequel, at least one issue, if not a whole arc that takes place before they ever left planet Earth.
And then we're on a spaceship to this planet, and it's like, well, what if some people woke up? You know, like there's, you know, maybe they are, maybe they did. Like, we're not going to get into it too much here, but there could be a whole arc of just
everyone asleep in a room quietly.
Yeah, like
nothing happens for 3 issues.
Like I would love to write a story where there's like a couple characters, like 2 or 3. That's it. Everyone's sleeping. Like, so we'll start riffing on that, and then
that one. Yeah.
You know, honestly, but that's how it goes. We'll go back and forth, and it's like, yeah, but just write it down. What if? And then watch issue 2 will roll by, and we'll be like, you know, what would be perfect? And he'll go, yeah, what if we did that thing we said that I didn't like, and then now it's perfect and I actually like it. And we have that going back and forth so much that it's like, oh, we're writing a comic book. You know, it's fun. This is what you think. I'll be by myself thinking about it. You know, I'll be texting him, and it's different. You know, I compared it. I was chatting with Michael Calera about it and Benti. Like when I used to work in corporate, right? I used to work at a bank, and I did that for a lot of years, many years. And I remember what it felt like after a year or 8 months or whatever. Like if I got a new job and I got promoted, like the feeling of killing it, doing something, getting recognized for it, moving up, doing a new job, like the excitement of doing a fresh position, right? Sometimes getting paid more. Sometimes it's like a lateral movement, like just getting something new, getting up and having another first day of work at the same place or a new place or something like that. And for 5 years of like doing comics, I haven't felt that at all. Cause I've been doing this this is my full-time gig, you know, like we make comics, we make content, we serve the community. You know, and as soon as we started this comic book, it was the first time it felt different. Like I'm doing a job that it's nothing like I've done before. And it's like going to a new job, and it's a lot of fun. It's making me respect the medium even more than I did, which I didn't think it was possible. So it's humbling, and I hope people pick it up at their LCS at a store near soon.
As this year progresses and the release date gets closer, we're going to be doing more and more events like this, I guess, and talking about it.
Yeah.
And I hope soon we get a little more spoilery. I don't want to spoil what happens, but I want to like show some art or something. You know, I want to talk about some stuff that actually goes down in the book.
Yeah,
I was gonna say, and as we get closer to the release date, hopefully we can have you guys on again. Can we expect any variants or exclusives for this project?
Yeah. Of course. I mean, we of course. I mean, it's a
water wet.
We're gonna do 500 variants now. We're still talking like we're over here right now, just like trying to write the best story we can. But a part of that is like, what's the best way to introduce people to this reality that we've created, you know, and what artists can we have join in on that ride? And we're going to figure that out. But right now it's the creative time. We have a lot smarter people than us who do that and have done that well, helping to make that happen. But yes, there'll be variants for sure, you know, because I'll just pray to Thor. I hope Boss Logic has time. It would be amazing. Tyler Kirkham. Oh, can you imagine?
I'm not even thinking.
Could you imagine? Like, I don't want to. That's the thing. I don't want to. That's what's going to make me get too tripped up over the creative process. If I start thinking about like, what if I get a battle damage variant? Like, I'm just going to throw it out there. It'd be so fun to make it happen. Like, it's going to psych me out. And
yes,
I don't want to. It's like I already
Crash Poo.
Yeah. Oh, how cool would that be? Like Marat doing a cover for our book. Oh my gosh, it would be amazing. But I don't want to get in my head about it, because like I just want to do.
This already doesn't feel real.
Michael,
but I almost feel like that's where this comic book came from. So you got to stay in there, bro.
We're doing it. We're gonna have fun, and hopefully the next time we chat, we'll have some more updates on it, and maybe some announcements and some cover pictures and stuff. I mean,
a few more panels,
into previews in the next like month and a half. So
you guys are officially indie comic writers now. I mean,
we're in previews. Technically not. But technically not yet. I think once you're in previews, then it's like it's happened, right?
I'm not gonna feel like
we've had an Ashcan come out.
The book in my hand, and like even then,
yeah, we've seen the Ashcan.
It'll still feel surreal, but I mean it's that's still a pretty big monumental thing. I mean, a lot of people talk about doing things, and I'm sure when you guys were first meeting, like, wouldn't it be cool to do a comic one day or something like that? Now, like, all these years later, you're like, holy shit, we're doing a comic.
Weird.
You know, it's always surreal until it's in your hands, but at the same time, too, we all have dreams, but until you start to actually work on those things, that's all they are,
True.
right? You know, so kudos for getting out there and fucking doing it, because
Yeah, it's
you know,
a tough
I'd
thing.
love to do a comic, but I'm not doing anything for it. You guys are freaking doing it. That's awesome, man.
Well, I'll add something to something you mentioned earlier that I think is important. You mentioned that it's like such a great industry for creators and artists to be able to like make a living off of. And I think that's a very big misconception. Not trying to correct it. There are people who do.
It's hard,
but it is
it's not a lot of money.
fraction.
No,
It is a
you're right.
almost like not even worth saying amount of people that actually make their living off of comics. Most people, especially independent projects that happen, are made by individuals who do this on their spare time. They're barely making money. If they make money, it's typically not off of the comic sales. Like they're trying to break even. Like think of like an artist making 22 pages, an editor, letterers. You know, you have to pay people to do all these things, and then, you know, $4 cover prices, you know, what you're hoping for, $5. It's like, it's just not a whole lot of money in making comics, which is why another big part of our grind here this year, it's not just comic books that we're making, that we've written, but it's also trying to get comic books to the next gen of comic readers and collectors. You know, we've taken some major strides this year. We dabbled last year. We did a pretty damn good job. We created thousands of comic books to be donated to children at LCSs. And we began working with another nonprofit, Comic Books for Kids, based out of Chicago. And now officially are able to make more comic books. And I'm not talking like just, I made too many gargoyles. Take my gargoyles. No. That's not what's happening here. We are going to press and making fresh, brand new stories that wouldn't have seen the pages of a physical comic book. And together as a group, getting them created in the amounts of that are exceeding 2,000 when we do this. We're about to announce it this next week, but we were able to bring to press and donate over 2,000 comic books to Comic Books for Kids in Chicago, which are not just going to, like, now we're not just hitting LCSs and providing stores with merchandise to give to children for free, because that's like our requirement for that.
Hey up, kid.
Yeah, right. Yeah, we need your dollar, right? But no, Comic Books for Kids has a network of hospitals and like cancer centers for recovery. And you'd be surprised. There's a lot of people who are like, donate comic books. Kids need comics, right? Where do I send my comics? And I'll tell you, as someone who's been trying to like actively participate in making that a reality, and one of the few people actually printing a lot of comic books for kids, it's not easy. It's not happening. It's not happening. Like, if you want comic books for kids to happen, someone's got to make them. So I'm bringing together our community, and this year we're making a difference and we're doing it. And yeah, we've accomplished a lot, and we're only a couple months in. So this year it's gonna be about Crashdown and investing in the next generation of comic book, next generation of comic readers and collectors. I think it's like the most underserved part of our industry, and it's probably the most important.
Absolutely. And I love it. Shout out to Nate Made It, because I've seen you guys do quite a few Dr. Seuss homages.
Yes.
I think we just came out with the Nocturne County, but there are countless titles that I saw you donate. You know, there's some that you gave to me. Hey, give these away to some of the kids in your chat. If anybody that buys from you has kids, make sure they get a copy of this. So,
right.
I just wanted to shout you out for that. Appreciate you, sir.
I appreciate it. Yeah, we're gonna keep that love going. You know, I try to get all the homies extra comics that they can just give away, because without you know a next gen, you know, this stuff's gonna be short lived.
Well, comics were huge for my daughter when she was in chemo. You know, when she was in chemotherapy. You know, because I mean, she was partially blind, right? So she couldn't see the little TVs far away where everybody's got like their shows on and stuff like that. So she had to be able to get things that could be close. and comics were super important to her here, reading stories about people that went through hard things and came out better from it. And there was a lot to gain from that. And a lot of children's hospitals, they're always short on those things too, because every single time those kids come in, they get to leave with something. And that's why I started working in a hospital system, was because of what I saw my child go through, and I wanted to find a way to help. And I work with web design and things of that nature. That's not something that you can traditionally help kids in a hospital. But, you get involved, you do what you can, where you can. And comics mean a lot to those kids. Those kids are superheroes. And, at our children's hospital, we have Darth Vader and Spider-Man and Superman. They all come through. They do visits. They rappel down the walls at different times of the year. The doctors and nurses dress up to do whatever they can to make something special for these kids.
I love it.
And, that is, Tom, that's an amazing thing to do that. And I'd love to hear more about that, because I've got some people at our children's hospital that would love to hear more about this initiative that I'm sure would love to get involved. And we're real close to Chicago. So,
well, if anyone's
more about that afterwards.
Well, we'll definitely chat. And if there's anyone who's interested in making a difference, and if this appeals to anyone, there's so many ways to give back in this community. But, I grew up reading comics with my dad. We'd go camping. He'd read me JLA and Constantine, Vertigo. I don't know what he was thinking, but
that's awesome.
But you know what? It didn't mess me up too bad. but if this at all interests you, I'll do a shameless whatnot plug here. But it's for,
how dare you?
It's on 2/25. It's a Monday. I don't know. We're gonna figure out the timing here. We're gonna start announcing this in
27.
Oh, 25. It's not now.
Hey, you want to bring it up?
Yeah, 2/25. Now you don't have to, because I don't have a picture of it, but you can find it, because I titled it "Save the Comic Book Industry with Us." This is going to be the first attempt to raise money for comic books for kids, because if you like the idea of comic books getting into kids' hands so they can read, if you think reading is a good thing for children, which I think we all agree it's why it's like how I learned to read. So that's why I'm so passionate about it. We are going to be selling so many kids comics. All the profits of those books are going directly to comic books for kids. We titled it "Save the Comic Book Industry with Us," because I believe that this is the answer to saving the comic book industry. We also have original art that we're going to be auctioning off with proceeds going to comic books for kids, because believe it or not, getting comic books to children, it's very difficult. It's nearly impossible. It costs money to do this. And when I say it costs money, I mean, it costs a lot of money, enough money that you get to a point where you just think, maybe we just donate money directly to the hospitals, because it literally gets to a point where there's people whose entire jobs have been created just to try and make this a reality. And there's not very many people that do it. So the way that we have managed to figure this out is really special. I don't think anyone's really done this, but comic books for kids does the most important part of the process. And believe it or not, the most important part of the process is not making the comic book, which is you can't even, it doesn't make sense. But the reality is Art Baltazar, who is one of the biggest comic book creators for youth and kids, he did Itty Bitty Hellboy. He's family, right? And this is someone who has been making comics for kids for so long, and it's probably one of the reasons so many kids are even introduced to comics in the first place. Tiny Titans, Itty Bitty Hellboy, Superpowers through DC, Super Pets. Anyone? There's a movie.
Art. You've seen his art when
one of my kids' favorite movies.
This is cool style.
This is someone who's been doing this forever, and this is someone also who I was chatting with, and he told me years ago, he's like, I have so many stories done, so many stories that kids would enjoy, done in a PDF, send it to the printer. There's already a cover, stories that are just finished, and they're not happening because it's so hard to make comics, because it's so expensive to do, but it's also so difficult to get them to where you want them to go. And Jeff has a amazing Art Baltazar book there. And it's Patrick the Wolf Boy, yo.
Oh, that's cool.
Awesome, dude.
So what we did, do I even have a Patrick the Wolf Boy in here? I don't think I do. So it's my car. It's in my car. But what we did is we were able to bring to press kids' books. With the help of the mystery mail call members, we make books to a.
It's been at least a year, right?
yeah.
How long have we been putting it in the? It was a relatively new addition to the mystery mail call, but we started including one
year and a half.
one kid's book in every
Yep.
mystery mail call too.
Yeah, I remember
Yeah, there's a lot of
you
like
guys were doing
parents
that.
who support the box. So I'm like, yo, I'm just gonna add this in there. It's not gonna take away from anything. I'm just gonna add a kid's book in there in case you have a kid in the house or you know somebody, or you want to collect it. I'll make it a Dr. Seuss variant, and that's actually why they're all homages, just in case. Because actually, I don't have kids, you know.
My kids love it, by the way.
So and
But
that's
it
why we do
sparks
it.
their
You know?
interest too. They
That's what we do.
they see it. They recognize that. They understand like, oh, I know Dr. Seuss. I should look at this book.
Right. There you go.
It's marketing. That's a good job.
So we start out with serving the collector or the mystery mail call members. We get them all comics, but I put an order in that's way larger, right?
Way
So
larger.
it gets like way larger because we're doing this to also do charitable stuff. So
Yeah.
you know, if we need, let's say, I don't know, 1,000 for the mail call or something, 1,500 for the mail call or 2,000 for the mail, whatever it is, right? Changes every month, and we do all
Rounds up.
kinds of stuff. We want to do stuff for the mail call or for whatnot, you know, whatever we do. I'm over here going, let's order 3,000. We'll figure out what to do with that extra 1,000. Where we're going to get in the hands of comic store owners or a company that's going to get them to the right place. Here's the thing, though. After you get all of that done, then it gets to a point where how do you move 1,000 comic books and get them as a charitable donation? First of all, you got to pay taxes on that because you're making something fresh. This isn't like you're going to your back issue bin and giving it a comic book away and you don't have to report that. No, you got to pay taxes. So it costs money to do it. That's the first thing no one thinks about, because if you go to the store and you're going to do a donation of food, you got to buy the food, pay taxes on that food, and then donate it, right? Same with comics. If you're going to make comics for a charitable reason, trust me, I talked to multiple tax advisors. There's like there's like no way to actually like maximize trying to do this in a cheap way to accomplish more. Because that's what you got to do as a business, is try to make it as cheap as possible to serve people, right? Because you have shipping and you have all these things, right? So you got to like cut as much as you can so you can get the comics to where you want them to go. And then you have to think about shipping to the hospitals. And that is actually now a 3-headed monster that you have to attack. You have to make the books. You got to get them to the company that's going to store the books. So you have real estate. And then you got to get those books to the hospitals. That's a shipping pallet. Who pays for it? Well, fortunately for me, we figured out a way to leverage amazing members of our community, whether it's me, Fire Guy Ryan, Russ the Comic Sensei, Golden Age Guru. We're all part of this, but also shout out Gem and Collectibles, Davis Ryder, Danielle for Nerdy Girl Comics, CBSI, Key Collector Comics. You know I got Whatnot sponsoring this, and we're raising money, getting these comics printed so that they're sent to Comic Books for Kids, and we took care of 2 of the 3 problems of getting comics to kids. The last problem is they need money to be able to ship the damn things, and maybe give the volunteers who's packing them all up some water, you know, maybe feed them the day of shipping. And this next week, they're going to be doing that. They're going to be shipping out multiple pallets across the country to get pop toys and t-shirts and stickers and toys and comic books. Every single hospital is going to get a comic book because of this group of people. So what we're going to do is we're going to attempt to attack the third thing, which is raising money for this nonprofit so we can get these comics to where they got to go. Because if we can do that as a community, well, then we're going to be able to make so many more comics, and we're going to get them to individuals who are going to really enjoy them.
Absolutely, man.
You get me talking all day about this. This is like,
Good
if
gosh,
I
my man.
done this, yo. Yeah,
I did not know that, but
this is what's up, yo. This is what
But
we
there's
spend time on.
passion in that,
I
though,
know
too.
that.
I mean, there's a reason why you have that much to say about it, because it's serving a purpose. I mean, we can all talk about a lot of different things, but when there's passion involved, then you know that that's because there's a purpose behind it. So kudos to
I
you.
appreciate you guys letting me riff about it, because it's like we don't talk about a whole lot about that kind of stuff.
We appreciate you riffing, my friend. Okay, we appreciate you riffing. Guys, we've been live for about an hour and a half now. So if anybody has any second questions, I can't promise I'll get to all of them. Last call, guys. Jeff,
We
any
promised
thoughts?
these guys an hour.
I just have a random. Oh, sorry. I just had a random thought earlier, and I didn't know. I would run it by you guys. Now, listen. We sometimes don't like to read comics because we don't want to wait like a month, multiple weeks between issues.
All
Right.
Everybody loves. I think everybody loves when a whole TV series comes out on Netflix.
Nope.
All right. Ryan, I'm not counting you, Ryan. Your taste and flavor and stuff sometimes throws
What
me
happened
for a
when
curve.
Squid Game came out last year and everyone was talking about it, but you got the one friend who's like, "No, I haven't got to it yet. I'm watching way slower
Yes,
than you
but
guys." And then by the time that friend catches up, you're done. You're moved on to the next thing. You know,
Great,
I like
but
the week. We're all talking about Mandalorian every week and Last of Us. You know,
that's me with Last of Us. Yeah. So
True.
I ain't waiting.
What I'm saying is, how would you guys ever feel about 12 issues at once coming out, or 10 issues of once of the entire run at the exact same time of an entire series?
It's what
So
Ed
basically
Baker's
just publish
doing.
a trade paperback instead of doing.
Nope, not trade. I'm talking individual issues. Like
It's too expensive.
Would you?
yeah, I was gonna say I would love it.
You'd be
but
blindly ordering 12 unless you're gonna sell them as a
you gotta
lot.
read issue 1.
You got to
I
get
would do it
12
as a
issues. So
trade.
you're basically saying
Do it like that.
12 times 5 is $60. So you're saying your entire arc needs to be $60 plus tax quality. And if it's not,
I'm just saying, is there a market for that? Because you tend to lose people already off of an issue or 2 or 3 potentially. Would you capture more people if you did the whole story? Let's say 6 issues or 7. Like, there's a lot of miniseries that go. Do you think you'd be able to sell it better all at once, opposed to maybe piecemealing it and people falling off?
the
Just
only
curious.
creators doing it right now in that way make graphic novels because it's the only way to justify the cost.
Yeah, and if you're not a creator with a
They-
fan base already who will follow you to doing a original graphic novel release model, a lot of people are going to see, oh, this is like $20 for a trade or something that I don't already know what it is. I'm just getting that's 5 comics I can't get.
Right.
Yeah, there you go. We actually have
think about it a
LGS
lot.
in the chat. He says if he had to do that, he'd probably cry.
Little crybaby.
It wouldn't even be
Oh my
discounted. As a publisher, as Marvel or somebody, would you discount that just so you get more issues out? And so I'm just curious. I'm just thinking out the box. Whatever.
I don't
Let's
know,
move
where would
on.
they cut the money from? Where would they take
know.
the money out of? They're already
Anyways,
struggling.
let's get comics to kids. Let's do it.
Yeah, I'm down
What
with
I
it.
say.
Yeah, let us
down
know
with
how
it.
we can help when you guys get that rolling too, please.
Yeah.
Well, hey, there's already some peeps who have done it, and I appreciate it. And we'll be talking about it a lot like next week. And who knows, maybe the next time I do it, because I had to keep it kind of small the first time because it was already, for lack of a better word, chaotic to make it happen. But the next round, we're going to open up to everybody not everybody, but a lot of people. And if they want to be involved, we can make it happen.
Okay,
Awesome.
well, there you go. Yeah, I mean, Dan Comics, what's up, brother? He says, what's the best way to contact you about a donation if they want to do it?
Well, we're going to be able to help direct members who want to directly donate to Comic Books for Kids if they want to do that portion. We'll have updates on that this next week because we definitely want to just show where you can work with this organization we've chose to work with. But also, we're going to be doing stuff on Whatnot, raising money, selling books, and if you want to get something, we're going to get donations from all kinds of people and just try to raise as much money as we can for them. So you can find us on Whatnot, but we'll also have updates on our site and social where you can go directly support.
Awesome. Yeah. No, that's awesome, dude.
Okay,
Yeah, I'm
and before
definitely
we end
making
this
some notes
segment,
for
Tom,
stuff.
Fire Guy Ryan, what are you guys having coming down the pipeline? I mean, besides obviously Crash.
What do you got coming down the pipeline, Ryan? You
Nothing
tell him.
good.
Be honest, man.
Nothing good.
What do you got going on?
The breakfast I ate this morning.
I was gonna say
Yeah.
Taco Bell.
What'd you eat recently?
Recently, eggs.
Eggs? I had eggs this morning. I've been making hash.
Delicious food.
Like putting
hash, you say?
yeah,
will
hash browns, and then you make the hash browns first, and then you put some cubed ham or Canadian bacon or regular bacon, something, and cook that too. Throw that in there, and then put the scramble on top of it, and you seasoning on the eggs and stuff, and then it cooks it into it. It makes it kind of like a little patty, and you put some cheese on it, and boom, you have something.
Sliced avocado on the side.
Exactly, boom.
Tom the chef over here.
Yo, I make a lot of food for us,
A
yo.
deconstructed omelet. A deconstructed.
I gotta.
omelet,
This guy
folks.
comes over. We make content, and then he goes, "I'm hungry." I'm like,
Feed me,
"We gotta-
Tom.
gotta feed you." Yo, we went to a restaurant. We won't say which one, and we were writing a comic, and they made us salads, and there was mold on all the cheese.
Oh yeah, and I was like, I don't see it. I'm just gonna keep eating.
Yeah, and I'm like, dude,
Oh, no.
don't eat that. I'm pretty sure this is mold. And he's like,
I didn't see.
I don't
anything.
know, dude. Tastes just normal. Like
It's
I'm
blue
like, what are
cheese,
you
Tom.
doing,
It's blue
Ryan?
cheese.
That's how I eat too.
So the waiter
Jeez.
came over and he goes, I'll go check. And then he just says,
Yeah, it's
yeah, it's mold. I was gonna eat mold.
Yeah, eggs. That's
Freaking
reputable food,
gross.
guys.
They're
Come on.
disgusting,
I
Ryan.
actually only eat moldy food. That's how I stay so fit. Grows the beard.
Grow the beard, Ryan. Push it out.
Puts
harder.
hair on your face.
That's right. Makes you a man.
Okay, and we will put a link in the description below. But Tom sells on whatnot. Tom, when's your next show, sir?
Monday. We'll be doing a show on Monday. We're giving away
Monday.
a Marvel premiere.
That's next
Marvel
Monday.
Spotlight. What am I saying?
That's not this coming Monday.
No, we're giving
Don't
away a
get ahead
Marvel
of yourself.
Spotlight.
That's on
No,
the
it's-
27th.
That's true. The 27th. So yeah, Monday.
Next Monday is that show.
We typically do shows Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Sometimes I'll do a random thing. You never know.
Which Marvel
Um,
Spotlight?
5. We're giving away
5?
first Ghostwriter on the 27th. Come be there. You may win a.
Oh,
I'll send you
okay.
$1,000 book. This is what we're gonna do.
He was like,
Well, I guess I
Maybe
finally
get
get to
me
enter in
Marvel
one of your giveaways.
What was that?
No, I said I finally get to enter in a giveaway of yours. Usually I can't. So
Yeah. If you win it, I'm gonna make you sign it to someone else.
Just gonna sneeze on it, then send it.
it's
out.
only fair. That's only fair.
Just kidding.
Right.
I kid, Rage. I
I
actually have been joking with Rage all day today. I complained. and
This
said
guy's
that-
been fucking with me, low key. Okay.
I have. I sent him a message. I'm like, dude, we've been waiting. What's going on?
Where are you guys?
You said 5 o'clock, and he's like, dude, I said 6 o'clock. Everything said 6 o'clock, and then I did is I went to my notepad and I typed out, the show starts at 5. Don't be late. I screenshotted it and said, dude, you sent me this. And then this guy apologized. He apologized. He's like, I'm sorry, dude. I don't know what happened. I'm like, I'm kidding, yo. I'm kidding. Just get ready, yo. Just having a good time.
I was
It's
busting his
comics.
ass,
It's
too,
not
so I was
that
like,
serious,
Dude, I did
yo.
not do that.
Very
Gave
No,
me
and you're right.
time.
Most importantly,
Time,
it should
you know.
be fun. It
No,
should
no.
always be fun here. Yeah.
No,
Guys, it's
Rage,
just
been a
comics,
pleasure.
just funny paper. Don't never take it that seriously. Guru, how
Jeff,
about
what-
you, my friend? What you got coming down the pipeline? I know you just did the top shelf on whatnot.
Oh, thank you.
The golden age. On
Yeah,
Whatnot.
man. So it's Top Shelf was this thing that Whatnot's got going where it's like on the higher end of a collectible. So they had me hosting a show and it went well. Sold some Golden Age books, sold Silver Age, Bronze, sold a bunch of stuff. It was great. And then now probably getting ready for Emerald City Comic Con. God willing, they don't have any availability, but it's my own fault for waiting, 4 weeks before. So we'll see if they can get me in. There's usually something that pops up.
Right.
So trying to get, 60 long boxes ready by,
I don't know how you do
3
that,
weeks.
Jeff.
I don't either yet. I'll tell you when it happens.
I used to do it. I used to do it so much, going to shows, setting up and stuff, and I miss it. But then I watch you
It's a
do
lot.
it, and I go, because here's the thing, a lot of people don't understand. Load in and load out at shows.
You made me do
is
that one
a
time.
Bitch.
Never again.
It is.
I
It's
know-
just.
I did
that
sucks.
one
It's
time,
just
too.
one of the
I
worst
helped
things.
one
I said
time
never again,
at
too.
San
Oh,
Diego.
man.
You want something fun? Can I tell you a guru story? Do you have time?
Oh, please give
Ryan,
us
do you have
a
time?
We have all
I
the
have
time
so
in the
many
world.
things to
Guru
do and places
story.
to go, but I'll listen to this.
I'll give you a quick little guru story. It's fun. So we were at Emerald City and it's loadout. Everybody's gone. Show's over. But they do loadout at this show, at least when we did it. It's gonna be at a new location this year. But back when we did this a few years ago, we had to wait in line and they would call the booth and say, you can now leave. So we were there for over 2 hours.
That's the one I was at.
Yep.
That was the pain in the ass. And I said, not doing this again.
Yep.
I don't love you guys that much.
Yeah, it's like we had to move all these boxes. We're helping Guru. I bought a collection, so Guru's like, "Oh, I'll move it. I'll deliver it. I'll drive it." But I didn't realize that meant I had to freaking stay 3 hours to wait for this guy to get it in line to leave. So we're waiting. We're literally everything's packed. We're just waiting to move it, right? And this guy's like, "Just can you stand by my booth? I gotta go and do this deal." And he just starts leaving. He keeps coming back. He's all stressed out. He's all frantic. I'm like, dude, what's going on? He's like, dude, I'm just like, I gotta get this done. You good over here? You good? I'm like, yeah, dude, just go ahead. You're good. Thanks for your help. So he goes, and Jeff, it was like maybe 3 hours that you were working on this. And you got these books. They're PGX books. Can I tell this story?
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, go for it.
Yes, he gets these PGX books. Dude drops, I don't even know. I can't even remember. But it was a lot of money on a couple books. Can you name the books, Jeff? We won't get into
Yeah,
that.
there was a 6-0 Hulk one, and it was a 8-0 Journey into Mystery 83.
So this guy figures out this deal, Endicon, and he's like, I'm gonna get these books. I'm trying to figure it out. He's looking at these books. He's like, what do you think about these books? He's having me look at these books. And what we're all doing is trying to decide, is there, like, it says it's no resto, but is there PGX books? So like, this is a big deal. And I watched Guru do a deal where he bought both these books at the same convention, cracks both the books, takes them out, gives them to a different dealer that he knows, because we're all homies here, you know? And that dealer, in a matter of 3 days, pressed them, brought them to another show, got them graded, and got this guy, what, $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 bump in grades?
Oh man, the whole point to a 7.0, and the Gym 83 went to an 8.5. And they got out of PGX holders. And it took so long to get this deal figured out because I contacted PGX, because you can call them for notes, and they took a long time to get back to me. But they contacted me. I know where these books came from because I had bought other stuff from this guy like a year or two prior. So this is when PGX used to be a decent grading company, guys, by the way, just so you know. Sure. So they graded actually pretty strict. And that was the time frame this guy submitted these books years and years and years ago. This is a long time ago. But so yeah, it worked out. When I looked at it, I was like, God, these books are undergraded. These are so pretty. I know they're sketch, but I kind of know the history of these things. Took a flyer on them, and crap, man, they're still on my PC. And I still think they got cheated. I'm telling you, that Journey into Mystery 83 is a 9.0 at least all day.
Yo,
It's
Jeff,
so pretty.
If
you still had it, that's
so
awesome.
much.
Oh, they're so pretty.
Is that a 7.0 Hulk 1?
Yeah, 7.0 Hulk 1, which looks better than that even. And then the Gym 83, I don't know how it's not higher than a 9.0.
That's insane. Yeah,
it was a cool thing to like witness,
because
you know, like we saw the whole process take place from him looking at him the first time and then deciding if he was going to do it and then actually going through it. And then you see like all the times that something could have gone wrong. And then when you get the payoff, you go, damn, but that's what happens. Sometimes you got to take risks in this market. It could have gone a completely different way, but when you have like the knowledge in place, you have your friends that you can network with and you can learn from, you can tell if books does it look cut? Does it look like it's been trimmed? Does it look like it has resto? Yeah. Feel the spine. Does it feel like there's any glue here? Like you did all the steps.
Have those staples been replaced?
Yeah. And it's like if you're that affluent with it, you really know your stuff. It's a cool thing to watch comeuppance happen when you throw money down to make it happen.
And it helped that I had a good show too. I had a good show. So I was like,
you did.
Okay,
it was a good show. It was fun.
Go.
Anyways, there's my Guru story.
And you still have those in your PC, which is the most important thing, bro.
They're not going anywhere. Are you kidding me? Those books in that grade?
No, don't ever.
Don't ever. This Journey 83 right here, I own it because of Jeff and Rob Red Hood. Because
shout out man behind the red hood.
Yeah, we love Rob. But yeah, it was a 9.8 Tomb white pager that I traded for it.
Oh, I remember that.
You want to hear something crazy about that trade? Jeff, do you remember at the time of the trade, the white page Tomb of Dracula one that I had?
Yeah.
How many were on the census at that time?
There was like 12 9.8s, 13 9.8s. That's about it.
Okay.
That's it.
I'm curious. Does anyone know?
What's the grade on the Gym above you?
It's a 3.0, but it's a white pager, baby.
Which is white pager.
Yeah. It's tough, dude. I go 3.0 white pager. That ain't easy to do. But we're gonna do this.
I'll tell you exactly how many Tomb 9.8s there are now. Number one.
Oh, you have it pulled up? I was doing it, but you're gonna beat me.
No, I don't have it pulled up. I just know because I just
pull it up and screen share. I'll pull you up.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, someone else has to do it. Jeff, how many? You drum roll. So it's 12 when I made the trade. Tell him.
I checked last week. There was 73.
9.8.
So somebody submitted a bunch after they started seeing sales of $14,000+ for these number ones. So someone had a hoard of them because I don't know.
A hoard or just a lot more people started breaking them out, buying 9.6s. But like the thing is like that's a part of the marketplace that people have to consider is that there's so many factors. You can't really anticipate everything. There's always risk. But how do you anticipate an increase of like 55 plus 9.8s on a Bronze Age classic Neil Adams cover? You can't.
Yeah.
So not only are market conditions hurting some sales of books, but what happens when CGC does what collectors were begging for 3 years straight? Get your turnaround times figured out. Video after video, complaining after complaining. And now
Right.
we're getting books back in like 2.5, 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Oh,
You
yeah,
know what?
easy.
It's reflecting in CGC census, and we're reporting on books on the Hot 10 going up week over week, 30, 40 damn copies at 9896. So, like, how do you apply that? We're in a new market. There's ebbs and flows, yo.
Yeah. No, that jumping up like 500% in grading too.
Right.
That's going to have a major impact on the market. That's crazy.
Yeah,
Crazy.
it's dropped
Guys,
a ton.
Thank you for having
Thank
us.
you.
We appreciate you guys. Thank you.
you so much for coming out tonight. I try to
Appreciate
be
the heck out of
respectful
you guys.
your time.
thank you.
You know, I've had the blessing of meeting everybody in here at least once, and this is the most conversation I've got to have with all of you guys at the same time, and every single time Theo went out without me. That one time each night, it was always with you guys, and he was like, "Oh, we had a great time. You missed it, whatever." It was like, God damn it! And so I finally get my moment to hang out and have a conversation. So thank you guys for letting me be a part of it and hanging out this evening. So much applause to everybody here too. Make sure if you guys aren't already, you're following our friends over at Comic Tom 101. I know Fire Guy also has a channel as well as Guru, but you know, you can find them a lot over there, especially. And for those that are new to us, please like and subscribe. We would love it. We're having a great day trying to grow. Yeah.
Throw a comment on the actual video too. It helps out.
Oh yes, please.
We're going to ask you something. What did you think of Ant-Man? Are you excited about Kang? Say something in the comments.
Did Kevin Hart crush MODOK?
Yes.
I loved it.
Is there?
Yeah,
did
you guys
first
haven't
go?
seen it yet, have you? Though, Tom, right?
Popcorn bowl.
No.
That's so cool. I want that. I want that so bad.
I love this thing, man. This was I went with Nate. Nate was just like, I'm gonna make one with my 3D printer. I'm like, I don't care. I'm buying one. I need this.
Nate loves making helmets.
I just bought a
Lights
TTA
up,
27, so let's go.
Let's go to the bathroom. Thank you, guys.
All right. Oh, appreciate you guys. We will put descriptions of where you can find these guys. Follow them on their YouTube in our bio. We appreciate you guys. Everyone that's in here right now, I appreciate the heck out of you. If you guys can sub, like, and comment, again, we're very appreciative.
I'll be watching.
Phil, any last second thoughts?
Nope. Just appreciative of our friends. Thank you guys so much for making it out tonight. We love and appreciate you, and we appreciate every single one of you that came in the comments tonight. And thank you for finding us. If you loved us, please like and subscribe. And if you didn't, well, thank you for hanging out for this time. But you're going to get sick of us because we're going to be here again, and we're going to be doing some stuff daily starting next week. So watch out, buckle up. It's only going to get worse, ladies and gentlemen, but we love you for it every single time. So
Till next time, guys.
till next time. Thank you so much.